And there's this crisis of faith for Harry and for his friends in terms of their relationship with him.
Gorgeous.
What's going on in there?
Nothing.
Because he doesn't have the answers.
But your plan. I told you everything Dumbledore told me.
So it's a real test of their relationship.
You're still mad at him.
I'm always mad at him.
Ron and Hermione's relationship has always been on a delicate balance where they've never quite worked out how they feel for each other.
They can't just take off where they left off from the sixth form. They can't know they can't like each other. But they don't really know how to deal with it.
Ronald Weasley. As usual, there's always tension between them. Hermione is very hard to please. It's quite hard to keep up with Hermione. She's usually a couple of steps ahead, and poor Ron can't quite keep up.
Sometimes Ron sees Harry and Hermione talking, and that makes him feel isolated and alone, and the Horcrux that he's wearing makes him imagine things much darker than in fact the truth.
He gets jealous and thinks that she's in love with Harry, when that really isn't the case. Hermione and Harry just have this very genuine girl-boy friendship. And I don't think there are very many in both literature and on screen friendships like Hermione and Harry's.
Right, here we go.
A huge cast. A lot of people are coming back.
Let's be back. Same.
And there are some new people who've been added.
For a long time, I joked I would be the only English actor of a certain age who wasn't in Harry Potter, but now I am, and it's sweet to be a part of it.
Your ministry remains strong.
I accessed my inner wizard and hoped for the best. I play Rufus Scrimgeour. He's Minister of Magic. These are difficult times, given the forces against which they are pitted.
To what do we owe the pleasure, Minister?
I think we both know the answer to that question, Mr. Potter. He is someone who had a kind of sternness and authority, but somewhere in there you saw that his heart was well disposed towards Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
You can't fight this war on your own, Mr. Potter. He's too strong.
I didn't buy a garden yarn moments ago.
No, Mr. Liger, it's very beneficial. Xenophil is not good. Xenophil is the editor of The Quibbler, which is a magazine that champions Harry Potter's cause. He's kind of jumpy and busy and kind of eccentric and has grown up with his very doting, loving daughter. They're best friends and both kind of inhabit the same sort of kooky, creative world.
I trust you now, Mr. Potter, that we, at the Quibbler, fully supported Dumbledore in his lifetime until his death.
Reese is extraordinary. He's an actor of real depth. And also just, when you put him next to Ivana, they just look right together, you know? They both have that very long, slender shape, and they work really brilliantly together. I've been bewitched by Ivana's performance in all the other films. She's a true inspiration for me to find this character. These two people have something really special in their life. A freedom that's kind of irreverent, but human and kind, and we're good people, aren't we?
Weasley. Oh, bless me. You're always a handsome.
Harry Potter.
Romantic, long hair. He's perfect. And his first and feel, he was a member of the Order of Machine, and he's helping Harry to escape from prison life. And arriving in and seeing the Potter world around you is an amazing experience. In one way, it's really familiar and kind of strangely normal walking around and, you know, being handed your wand and seeing Rupert and the twins being your brothers.
He really kind of looks like one of us, so he really fits in the family really well.
My dad works in the films. I came out to visit him one time.
Donald came with me on set, and everybody kind of pointed him out and said he's a Weasley, you know? And the next thing I heard, he was going for an audition. So it's come round full circle. It fit like my eyeball, really.
The same crew and the same cast, and new people come. There's a sense of familiarity between everyone, and the dynamics seem to work.
There's definitely something special about when we're all together and with all the red hair back and everything. It's quite a fun time.
This is quite some outfit they have here at Leedston. It's a massive studio, and they can build
Stuart Craig, the designer, creates a universe that seems like what you've read, but if you go back and read very carefully, it's not exactly what you've read. He's taken that as a starting point and he's dared to dream. Anyone who's had the privilege of walking on the art department will see the brilliant imaginations at work.
The house itself is fantastic. It's extremely nice. The ceiling's about 30 foot high, so we've got a couple of chandeliers, so I thought we must be doing pretty well for ourselves.
And action.
What we built are two big interiors. One is the ground floor entrance hall, and the other is the big drawing room immediately above that. An elaborate staircase that kind of links the two. Every facade is full of these kind of oversized windows, and they, especially when it's dark inside, they have a mysterious and slightly threatening and rather magical quality.
Luna.
Keep off the dirigible plums. Such a weird building, really. It's got these kind of really strange dirigible plums kind of growing on the wall.
Joe Rowling describes it as a black tower, and so that's exactly what it needed to be. The one thing I did try to do is make the cylinder with a very deliberate lean and a very deliberate taper. The main floor is the printing press. There are rollers and belts of paper, and it works pretty well, I must say.
Just amazing sets. It's such an incredible film to work on, the attention to detail. I'd happily live in it.
We have some interesting sort of muggle locations that become part of the journey they take.
This way.
Alright, so let's reset, guys.
We were the first film to lock off Piccadilly Circus since 30 years ago.
Action on the cards.
We shut down the busiest street in London, in one of the biggest cities in the world. It was insane. We just literally held traffic to a standstill
Hold the traffic, please.
until we did our take.
Roll video.
It was at 3 o'clock in the morning, and everything was open, and we left all the lights on. We had like 1,000 extras, and it was crazy. But it was really exciting. We were on the run, and it was Harry Potter film.
Okay, we just start running, maybe.
This one's been really fun. It's always nice to get out of studios because we spend so much time here.
They pick over and do most of the bit. I think all three of them seem to be enjoying this one more than the others because they're out and they're running and jumping and they just let loose a bit, not too much dialogue, so they haven't got to worry about learning pages of dialogue, just running in that direction.
I consider myself to be in relatively good shape and relatively fit and healthy. Apart from this film, it's some serious running, climbing, jumping, falling, everything you could possibly care for. Particularly in that whole sequence in the forest where we're running away from the Snatchers.
Snatchers are these groups of people who've been let out of all that wizard prisons, who have now been given responsibility and authority to round up undesirable elements. Basically mercenaries going around killing people who they deem to be a threat to the ministry. So Harry, Ron and Hermione are constantly on the run from the Snatchers.
It's gonna look amazing. They set up this incredible camera, which is like a zip wire basically, and so the camera can move at an incredible speed.
We were setting up these shots where they would be chased, and I said, all right, I'll do a take, and I'll let them just get the hang of it. So I go to take one, I go, okay, action, and they go, and they run like maniacs, and it's because they are trying to outcompete each other. Dan wants to run faster than him, Emma wants to run faster than Dan, and Rupert just wants to be anywhere to try and keep up with the pair of them.
It's actually funny, David had to take us aside and say, I just want to remind you that this scene is about the film, not about which one of you can run the fastest. We all sort of went away with our heads down, like, oh, it's not embarrassing. But I gave the boys a good one for their money. Definitely.
I'm faster now. I could be. There's not even a question in my mind.
I didn't realise it was going to be that fast. They actually told me to slow down a little bit because I was beating them.
And Rupert knows he's not the fastest. Thinking about it, that's just him. He's just mouthing off then.
All three of us will be saying, I was the fastest, and we'll have to have a race to settle it once and for all.
Red carpet next premiere, we'll do it. I'll have a race, man. Make it 100 yards, I'll do it.